The Resonance of Life. Journey through the Human Tapestry. Chapter 2. The Gathering. The journey back to Alcamara after her awakening felt different. The air around Sophira seemed charged. Every breath she took filled with an unspoken knowing, as though she was no longer simply walking through the forest, but moving within the fabric of life itself. The connection she had felt with the ancient oak had not left her. Instead, it followed her like a quiet companion, guiding her, whispering through the trees. Her senses were sharper, and every leaf, every branch seemed alive with energy. It wasn't long before the pull came again, this time not toward the oak, but deeper into the forest. She felt it as an instinct, a gentle tug in her chest, leading her to a clearing she had never seen before, though it felt as familiar as an old memory. The clearing opened before her, bathed in soft light, the air shimmering as though alive with unseen forces. And there, standing in the center, were three figures. Each of them radiated an energy that mirrored her own, connected, awake, yet distinct. They were waiting as though they had always known this moment would come. Sophira felt a tremor of recognition deep within her. These were not strangers, though she had never seen their faces before. They were like her, touched by something ancient, their lives woven into the same tapestry of existence. She approached cautiously, but with a sense of trust she couldn't explain. The first to meet her gaze was a tall man, his eyes filled with a quiet confidence. He stepped forward, offering a warm smile, and introduced himself. Kael, a skilled healer whose hands had guided countless people back from the brink of death. His energy was soothing, a balm that seemed to ripple outward from his very presence. He spoke softly, explaining that he had always been able to feel the energy in others, able to shift it, to heal it. It wasn't something he had learned, it was something he had always known, like a deep memory etched into his every being. There is a resonance within us, Kyle said, his voice gentle. Something that ties us to the earth, to each other. When I work with someone, I can feel the energy flow between us. Like a current, it's not just about healing the body, it's about restoring balance. Sophira listened, her heart beating faster. The connection Kyle described was familiar, the same flow she had felt when her hand touched the oak tree. He spoke of electromagnetic fields, the invisible forces that pulse through every living thing, and how he had learned to listen to those frequencies. In scientific terms, it was the energy that science acknowledges as present in all matter. But Kael knew how to work with it on a deeper, more intuitive level. Beside him stood an older woman, her eyes filled with the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. Mira, a seer and earth keeper, who had long ago learned the language of the trees, the rivers, and the stones. Her voice was low and steady, and when she spoke, it felt like the ground itself was listening. I've spent my life studying the earth, watching its rhythms. It speaks to us if we are quiet enough to listen, Mira said, her voice like a soft wind. The ground beneath your feet holds memory, just as the stars above hold guidance. The energy that flows through the earth runs through us as well. Mira described her lifelong connection with the land, how she had felt the energy grades beneath the surface, much like the ley lines that scientists and mystics alike believe connect sacred places across the globe. But Mira understood more than theories. She could feel them, touch them in ways that words couldn't fully describe. Her body seemed to hum in tune with the very forest they stood in, as if she and the earth moved as one. And then there was Orion, a young man whose silence spoke more than words ever could. He carried the weight of mystery, a past that was only hinted at in his guarded eyes. Orion's energy was sharp, focused, but there was something deeply human in the way he held himself, as if he, too, had known a struggle and loss. His abilities were still shrouded in the uncertainty, but the power that simmered beneath the surface was undeniable. Orion finally spoke, his voice low and quiet. I've always felt different, like there's something inside me waiting to be unlocked, but I don't know what it is yet. His confession hung in the air, vulnerable and raw, and yet filled with potential. Whatever was hidden with Orion, it was powerful, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The four of them stood in a circle now, their energies intertwining, their presence lighting the clearing in a way that felt like more than just sunlight. The air around them shimmered with unseen energy, the kind that can only be felt by those attuned to it. Each one of them was connected, not just to each other, but to something larger, something ancient. There is a reason we are here, Sophira said, her voice soft but sure. Something has brought us together. They all knew she was right. The forest itself seemed to breathe around them, the trees gently swaying in a rhythm only they could hear. Each of them had been touched by something beyond themselves, an ancient force that had chosen them, called them together in this moment of awakening. They were part of something much bigger than themselves, connected by invisible threads that span time and space. And though none of them could fully understand the journey ahead, they knew it was just beginning. Together, they would unravel the mystery of their shared connection, discovering not only their own power, but the ancient lineage that bound them together. The clearing pulsed with energy as they stood, hand in hand, their bodies forming a circuit of life, of energy, of purpose. The world around them seemed to shift, the air itself shimmering as if acknowledging their presence, their unity. The resonance they shared was undeniable. In that moment, they were no longer separate individuals, but one connected by the unseen force that flowed through all things, the force that had awakened them to their true purpose. They were the keepers of an ancient power, and their journey was only just beginning.